Alright, it's your boy iDef, and I'm back with another review for you guys, and this time we got Star Wars The Black Series, The Mandalorian from the Mines of Mandalore. I will start by saying I have not watched The Mandalorian yet, and I know I need to, I just haven't watched it yet. I'm very behind on Star Wars stuff, to be honest, but, box looks pretty good. He looks pretty good in package. I'm going to choose to believe that's not a paint issue, and that is supposed to be kind of a wash, but I really couldn't tell you. I think it looks fine, though. I'm not going to count it again. I like how it looks. That's all I can say. It may be a paint issue, though. I also will say I am aware that there's a blaring issue with this figure, but we'll get into that once we have him open. But he's got the little image on the side. There's nothing really going on this side. Then you got the same image on the back, just kind of cropped. And then he's got a little bio back there. Like I said, there's nothing over here. And then nothing really crazy on the bottom, just all the random stuff. Oh, it's got a little number. I'm not sure what that exactly correlates to, but maybe that's the series itself, or like not the Black Series, but like the Mandalorian. I don't know. Let's run them through the IDEF system. Is the figure in good shape? Does the figure function as intended? Everything that's included with the figure, plus scaling, and then just my final thoughts. Usually a little pose at the end when I'm talking about it too, unless I forget. Right, and here he is out of package. And is the figure in good shape? I've been looking at him, he looks good to me. I can't find any issues. The only thing I could say is possibly an issue is that, but again, I personally like it, so keep in mind that may be a paint defect on mine. I don't know. I like how it looks though. It just seems out of place because nothing else is weathered like that, but again, I kind of like it, so I would say he's in good shape. This is not cloth, but it is very soft, and it kind of just sits on there, so you can really just get it out of the way. I assume this is for a jetpack. Not 100% sure, but I'm assuming that's from reuse. It even got some battle damage back there. That's pretty cool. But yeah, does the figure function as intended? Well, we'll start at the head. He has a lot better head articulation than my what is his name? Han Solo. Jeez. My old man Han Solo from like the 2015 Force Awakens. This figure has way better head articulation. I believe he also has the neck move. Yeah, the neck moves. I think that's where he's getting all this articulation from. But yeah, pretty good. He's got pretty good arm movement. The shoulder pads don't get in the way. I would say try not to leave those up, because I think these will wear out pretty quick if you pose them a lot. I'm just guessing. And then no bicep swivel, but the arms do pivot at the joint, and it is single jointed. But it's not terrible. Ooh, so the arms don't like to raise too far though. That is the thing. Let me see, I'll mess with that real quick and get back to you. Yeah, so unfortunately, they actually seem to be designed to only go up that far and only back this far because of this little pauldron. It is part of the inner part of the joint, so it just kind of stops right there. Not that big of a deal, I feel like. You probably don't need to do too much more than that. But this one just goes crazy. Hold on, let's take a look at that. Yeah, hold on, maybe... I hope I didn't... Oh. Well, if he breaks, he breaks, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be going up with it like that, necessarily. But if you force it, you can't get it higher. I don't know, it'd look cool, honestly, if one of the pauldron breaks off anyways, but this one doesn't have a problem going up. So, But, so he only comes with one pair of hands. But this one kind of has the vertical hinge, because it's his gun hand, which makes sense. And then this hand kind of has the average horizontal, which, again, is fine. It's not a bad thing. He doesn't have much crunch forward. And that is because this whole belt piece is one, along with this gray piece under there, and it goes up under his abs, which I don't know if that's supposed to necessarily do that either. Actually, no, it is, because this chest piece is part of the whole torso, so it's just kind of designed weird. He gets a little bit back, but he does get a decent bit of side to side, which I feel like is good for a Mandalorian with their style of fighting, you know what I mean? They're like quick shooter type guys. they're bounty hunters. But, he does get some twists, too. It is a little resistant, but... come on, man. Yeah, he'll get some twist in there. I would almost argue it's a pretty realistic twist, actually. Like, you can't get him to get into too crazy a pose, which I'm not trying to glaze. I almost kind of like that. But, that's your kick, which, without a drop down, that's... I mean, as bulky as this figure's designed, like, that's really not bad. And then... not a crazy good bend, but, I mean, there's SH figure arts that don't have a bend like that, so what can you say? This one is a little bit better, but I think it's just because this one has this little weird knee armor thing. And then they do also, they pivot. And then his feet, they have a good down bend, but not so great forward. Actually, let me see if, okay, no, they're the same. I was thinking maybe this one might be a little bit better because of the boot design, but they're pretty much the same. And then got a little pivot. Yeah, pretty, seems like from what I understand of the Black Series, they're really not highly articulated figures. So I would say this definitely functions as intended. I would say his articulation is a little bit better than my Han Solo. But yeah, we'll see everything that's included with him. He comes with the Darksaber, which looks pretty cool. It's slightly warped, but that's because of the way they package it. That's easily fixable. Not too many details on the handle, but I think that's kind of what it looks like in the show and everything anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then, I don't know what his blaster is actually called, but it's got his little Mando blaster. It's pretty cool. The handle's painted, and it's got a nice little paint job on there. Nothing crazy. A wash would, make it look better, but it's pretty cool. And then the big problem. Ironically, very small problem, but cool looking knife. Let me show you something though. If you were not aware of this, he can't hold it. You could definitely fudge it in some ways. Like if you hold it at an angle, it'll probably stay in his hand. But it is simply too small for his hand is the problem. Like, I wouldn't even attribute it to being an issue with this. They should have just made the handle bigger. That's just plain and simply it. Also, I don't know if I necessarily watched a review, but I could have swore there was supposed to be like a sheath somewhere on here for the knife, but I guess there's just not. It really feels like there could have been. But I feel like maybe you put a little tape on there or something, you'd probably get it to fit. But yeah, it's essentially just a useless knife if you don't want to mod it. And like, there's really no figure's hand that I think that's going to realistically fit in unless it's like a smaller scale. So that does kind of suck. But that's everything that's included with him. Let's go ahead and scale him. And we're only going to scale him with one figure. And there he is with Han Solo from The Force Awakens. And I really don't know the heights of either of these characters. I'm pretty sure Harrison Ford is like 6'1" or 6 foot something, if I'm not mistaken. I always imagined that the Mandalorian was kind of a bigger dude, but I couldn't tell you if the scaling's accurate. But for you Star Wars buffs, you're going to see this and you'll probably know. Actually, maybe you wouldn't, because I'm also sure you never really see these characters together. But that's what we're working with. Yeah, I mean, he's not an amazing figure, but if you're into the Mandalorian or Star Wars in general, like, and especially if you're not super into posing, I think you'd enjoy him. Honestly, even if you really like to pose, though, I think you can get some good poses out of him, honestly, especially if you have other accessories like the jetpack that goes on. I'm sure you could take his head off and also take that cape off if you really wanted to as well. I don't regret getting him. I think it could definitely be better. Black Series, I think, should at least be on par with Marvel Legends, because it's made by Hasbro, so I don't see why they couldn't implement the same articulation. Some of it is similar. I did forget to mention, he has some butterfly. I would dare to say it's essentially negligible, though, but either way, he looks pretty cool, and I definitely think you could get some cool poses out of him. But I don't know, if you can get him for less than retail, that would be optimal. But I know there's a lot of you'd probably be willing to get him for retail because he's probably worth it. But the knife issue does suck. I gotta mention as well, this hand barely, there's no friction of it holding the sword. It just stays in because it's long enough and you can use the weight of it, and the hilt will keep it from falling out, but it doesn't quite fit in this hand either. So this hand essentially is just to like hold the sword with two hands, which you're not going to be able to get it in every position, but you can definitely get him to hold the sword two-handed. So that's cool at least. But yeah, I hope this was informative, helps you decide whether or not you want to pick this dude up. I know he's been out for a while and a lot of people already have him anyways, but I wanted to do a review today, and I knew he'd probably be a quick and easy review. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.